Back in the 1990s, when my passion for realistic simulation began, I don't think I could have imagined that flight sim rigs could be quite as amazing as I think the Honeycomb Sierra TPM is. Honestly, I am so glad that Honeycomb did not succumb to their financial woes, because they are, in my humble opinion, one of only two companies who really care, about producing high quality and cost effective products for the flight sim community. Unfortunately, this is a Sim UK honest review, as are all reviews on Sim UK, and there are some very important downsides to what is otherwise a magnificent product. First, let me sing the praises for the Sierra TPM. The build quality is excellent, whilst still incorporating cost-saving design choices, like there being no backlight, as was found on the original Alpha Yoke. As such, the price is a reasonable £200. Now, I have gushed about how good the desk mounting system is with all Honeycomb products, much better than 99% of their competitors, but I am still waiting for them to realise that proper sim fans like me also want to be able to mount their rigs underneath their desks and not on top. So watch this space and see if that happens soon. Now, for me, one of the biggest pluses for this device is the introduction of a parking brake. I am euphoric about this introduction. For so many years, we have all had to elect a substitute button, replace something else as the handbrake. Finally, for the first time ever, we have a dedicated brake. I do wish that it pulled out a little bit further though, or perhaps if it had a twist mechanism on it, it would be even better. But nonetheless, I am so glad to have a proper parking brake. The gear lever and the flap toggle switches are identical to that on the Bravo, so perfectly happy with those, no problem whatsoever. But the trim wheel, in my humble opinion, is smaller, tighter and more precise. I much prefer this new style over the bigger, more cumbersome Bravo edition. Finally, the levers themselves. Now, I have wanted a set of TPM levers for the longest time, since I first flew flight simulators and I was learning how to fly, but they were always price prohibitive. And this at just £200, you might worry about the quality of these levers or the implementation of the TPM style system, but Honeycomb here have successfully merged solid metal and 3D printed elements perfectly. They feel so solid, they are so responsive. Well, more on that in a moment. I absolutely love them. The functionality that they give you is sublime. You will be able to tweak your prop and mixture to your heart's desire. They are absolutely brilliant. I couldn't be more impressed with them. And even the throttle restriction knob, I guess you call it, putting more friction on the lever, thereby, making sure you don't accidentally knock it in or pull it out or whatever. Or just, if you just like a bit more friction on your throttle, it's all there. Everything is there, and it's just sublime. I have really got no qualms about saying that I 100% wholeheartedly recommend Honeycomb Sierra TPM module to anyone who can make good use of it. There's a telling statement right there. This wouldn't be a review if I didn't mention the issues that I have discovered and encountered, and as such you might also, well, almost certainly you're going to encounter as well. So if you're thinking about buying one of these, don't buy it until you've watched the rest of this video, and then let me know what your thoughts are on it. I think it's absolutely sublime. I absolutely love it to bits, and hopefully I just did something there. I don't know if you heard it on the recording, but I just did something there and my throttle made a real loud crunching sound. And I'm hoping maybe it's just fixed itself, because it's not been working since I got it. So I may have to adapt this review slightly if I've just fixed the throttle, but it also raises a concern if that's the case. So, as I was about to say, there will be no flight videos in this review for one single reason. My Honeycomb Sierra has a broken throttle. Sadly, it never worked out of the box and it is going to have to be replaced. But I don't need to fly with it to know how well or unwell it works. I can see that in other ways, and I will now share and show with you the issues that I have discovered. Issue number 1. There are not actually all that many TPM aircraft available in the default Microsoft Flight Simulator or X-Plane 12 packages. Those aircraft which do support TPM style controls often don't have a prop lever, which means you're not really getting 100% effective use of your Sierra device. So it's fair to say that it's very bespoke, and it will only really be applicable for a handful of aircraft. But if your favourite aircraft has a TPM interface, then grab this now. If you know you're going to be flying an aircraft with the full TPM ensemble, and you want it to feel and look as realistic as possible, I can think of no better product than this. I really, really love this thing, but it's not fair to just gush about it and not highlight the issues. So at release, the landing gear LEDs are not working. Similar issue that we've had with the Bravo for the longest of times. A fix is coming, apparently. Heard that before. It's not the end of the world, I suppose, but issue 3 certainly is more of a problem. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 is a steaming pile of, well, it has some serious problems. I had significant problems trying to input control inputs. There was no default input, no default controller configuration for this device. Maybe, I imagine that will change in the next couple of months. But just trying to put levers, buttons and dials in for an aircraft was a bit of a problematic experience. I had to try numerous ways to get it to work. Obviously my throttle wasn't working, so that was one of the issues there. Most problems with Microsoft Flight Simulator are basic problems, and it just feels like Asobo are too proud to address them in favour of something that really only helps a handful of people instead. They like to do all the glamour stuff, even though they haven't got the basics right yet, and it really frustrates me. So whilst testing the axes, you can see here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 that the axes are reading and registering full motion from 0 to 100%. Excusing a tiny bit of noise, they are perfect. Unfortunately, when you get into the aircraft, they all pull up short, a lot short. You're only getting about 60% of that extension for whatever reason. Now, if you compare this directly to X-Plane 12, and the levers there are 100% perfect from 0 to 100% in the interface and also in the aircraft. So this is 100% a Microsoft Flight Simulator issue, and they won't fix it because it's not a big glamorous thing. Even though it affects everyone who flies, they just, for some reason, cannot be drawn to fix the small problems. In addition to that, I noticed that the twisting fine-tune capability, which is absolutely sublime, well, here you can see that, but for a little bit of noise, you can very gradually increase or decrease, allowing you to make extremely fine adjustments so that you can get the perfect mixture and prop combination to be as fuel efficient as humanly possible in your aircraft. However, when the levers are at maximum or minimum, it will take a good between 2 and 4 solid twists on the control before any adjustment is recognised by either of the flight sims. And that's not in the flight sim, it's by the flight sim. So the axis inputs just do not register anything at the minimum or the maximum position. Now, if you lock it off anywhere in between maximum and minimum, then they work instantly. So it's not a big problem, but it is something that you need to be aware of, I suppose. If you've got it at 100% prop and you twist it 4 times, there's a very good chance you haven't actually done anything. So just bear that in mind. But you know, a good pilot will hear the prop and know whether or not the adjustment is good. So all in all, it's fair to say that there are some unfinished parts, some quirky parts, and some serious issues that you'll need to consider when you're buying the Sierra. I think the price of £200 is very fair. I think it's an excellent product and it should last forever based on how it feels, even though my throttle was broken on arrival. Biggest issue of all though has to be, how many times are you actually going to be flying a TPM aircraft? And if it's in Microsoft Flight Simulator 24, how long can you cope with only having 60% of the lever available to you? So hopefully that's an informative review that will help you decide whether or not you want to invest in a TPM. As I say, if you're looking for a TPM, I can think of no better option than this. I absolutely love it. It's well built, it's solid, and it's just such a shame that mine was broken on arrival. Hopefully, whatever I did earlier, all I did was... Oh, no, I can you hear it? Oh, it did it again. That's twice it's done that. I think it's broken inside. I can't really tell. Oh, it's doing it again. Hear that noise? Something's not right in there. Don't know what it is. That's a real shame. Guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Goodbye for now.
In the land of the web where the reviews abound, Sim UK's got the truth that'll turn it around. Honest insights, no whispers in the dark. Fact-based wisdom igniting that spark. Navigating life with a click and a scroll. Understanding the details is all about control. With every line you read, you're gaining the facts. No tricks up our sleeves, we stay on the tracks. We don't play games, we simulate reality. With Sim UK reviews as your ultimate clarity. Best of Joe's got